Welcome, good evening. Welcome to Municipal Safety Committee meeting, of which I am chair. I would like to ask Councilor Ladov to sit in for Councilor Peach. Thank you. And here comes Councilor Daigle. So therefore, you're off the hook, Councilor Turco. And tonight's meeting, we have one item on the agenda, which is to speak on the Ward 2 Councilor's creation of Complete Streets Transportation and Pedestrian Safety Committee proposal, which at that, I would hand it over to Councilor Ladov to speak on that subject, but I have a motion. We have two late communications. Could I have a motion from a committee member to receive late 2 and late 6?
Motion to receive late 2 and late 6.
Thank you, but I think Councilor Rossignol will do that as a committee member. Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Oh, you are? Well, I'm sorry. I missed it there. Okay. Well, the motion to receive by Councilor Gamache. Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Okay, so those two late communications are now on the floor in the meeting, and at this point, I will hand it over to Councilor Ladov.
Hello, thank you so much for letting me discuss the Complete Streets program with you. This is something really close to my heart, and it was something that came about through not just campaigning, but my why on this is more so because through the years, actually through decades in Peabody, I've heard a lot of concerns about traffic and pedestrian safety through the community. I first heard it as a parent, I heard it as a resident, I heard it as a business owner, and then as counselor, it's been loud and clear that it's a consistent problem through our community. As I was campaigning over the summer, one thing I found very consistent when I would meet with other counselors and other people in other wards was the common thread that traffic, pedestrian safety was something that was a concern for everyone. So whether you were in Ward 2 or if you were in West Peabody, it's really a common thread of problems that we have across the board. What I was looking to do, I'm going to go more into details of it, but just want to give you the background of my why on starting this and doing it the way I set it up. I really believe in having something that is resident-led, and I wanted the residents to be involved in the process as much as possible. I'm someone who's very hyper-focused on collaboration, and I believe in trying to bring the residents together to help resolve solutions. I love to bring people part of the input to get public opinion and to help create structure in the process, and really will help connect the departments the way it's set up and to help prioritize results. And this would be something that would not just be on one person's desk if it was just a single, something that was just handled by like one particular person, but it would be something more collaborative among departments and residents if this is something that we all work on together. I'm just going to go through the proposal. As traffic patterns develop and pressures with cut-through streets in continuing, I'm so sorry, my chair just keeps rolling. With cut-through traffic and with increasing measures throughout neighborhoods, we're seeing that residents across the board have raised concerns regarding speeding, unsafe neighborhoods. When I say unsafe neighborhoods, someone brought up to me over the summer, they thought like unsafe meant like someone was robbing them on the street. I'm not talking about that type of safe. I'm talking about, sidewalks, potholes, and brick that may be broken and whatnot, so that type of particular safety. This is something that's consistent whether it's for like children, seniors, young adults, people who are disabled, and it's just something that we need to address and kind of bring this in a fragmented manner together. When you look at Complete Streets is a program that started in 2016, and other communities have a Complete Street program. And it's focused on transportation, pedestrian safety, and it just works on having a resident-led solution from an advisory committee focus to help coordinate and elevate these concerns and to be more transparent and data-informed and data-driven. It works with MassDOT, and it helps prepare us for grant readiness, which is great because don't you just love a good grant to help pay for things? So this is something that the way it's structured would be set up as not just a one-time grant, but a continuous flow of grant opportunity for us with the way we would structure it. The proposed committee would serve as a structured forum to review resident concerns, evaluate available traffic and crash data and safety data. It would develop prioritized advisory recommendations for short-term and long-term solutions. The committee would work collaboratively with the police department, public service, planning, the mayor's office, the historical commission, and the disability commission as well. They would have no rules of enforcing any law. It would not affect any type of budget. It would use open meeting law, and it, as I mentioned, it does not need a budget. In addition, the committee would review and find problems, and they would research not just the MassDOT grants, but bring forward if they found some other grants available regarding transportation and safety. Complete Streets has a focus on like ADA compliant improvements, traffic calming, pedestrian, bicycle safety. These recommendations would be on the advisory level in nature and intend to support city departments in the mayor's office, prioritizing projects and trying to strengthen our opportunities to get competitive funding for these. They would do nothing related to parking issues or anything like that, no fees, nothing of that nature. The committee would be set up in structure that my proposed structure would be that one resident from each ward would be selected to represent on the committee. I thought this was very important, so it was a well-rounded committee, so someone's needs and what they may have as traffic problems in Ward 6 may be not quite the same that we would have in Ward 2 or in Ward 3. So I just wanted to balance it off, and I thought it was a great way to collectively across Peabody to get people involved. So each ward councillor would recommend someone to the committee to be their resident lead on this. We would have one city council member appointed, and we would have someone from the police department be a representative. We would have someone from public service be a representative. We would have someone from the historical commission as well as the disability commission to ensure we are being like ADA compliant with this. The committee would meet monthly and again serve as an advisory role and would submit written reports to the mayor and city council. It does not replace anything existing that we have. Rather, it helps organize the resident input and helps coordinate across departments, and it would be data-driven focused as decisions would be made and suggested. And it's really aligning regional best practices and other communities. As I said, Complete Streets started in 2016, and across the board you have like in Salem, Beverly, Gloucester, Lynn, Marblehead, you name it, there's a Complete Street Advisory Committee out there. So 2019 was probably like one of the last ones. I want to say may have been Beverly got started. Don't quote me exactly on that. So we're just catching up at this point to be part of a competitive process to get some grant funding. It's a three-tiered process. Tier 1, as we form this and start this, we would identify what those projects would be and kind of make a project list, and that could last between 1 and 6 months, trying to figure out what that may be. It could be 1 and 3. And then tier 2 is reviewing the safety patterns and using the data. And then step 3 is when we really see the reward on this is we organize our priorities, and we would try to get grant funding for those. And so some of the grant funding potentials could be projects for $500,000 to $1 million. And again, it's not something that just happens once, it's a continuous flow as you're doing this. This just shows MassDOT where we are using their best practices. And I think that is everything I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, if I may, I'm going to read late 6 into the record, the letter from the mayor, just so I can share it. The mayor, late 6, communicated to the council that he is in full support of Councilor Ladov's proposal to establish a complete streets, transportation, and pedestrian safety advisory committee, and looks forward to working collaboratively to ensure its success. DPS Director Will Politz will be at tonight's meeting and ready to appoint himself to the advisory committee. I see him in attendance this evening. Thank you, Will. HR Director Dagmar Whitaker, who serves as the chair of the city's Disability Commission, will be at tonight's meeting and ready to submit a representative to the advisory committee. I see her in attendance as well. Thank you, Director. Historical Commission Chair Jeff Budd is scheduled to be at the meeting tonight, also with a named representative as well. In addition, the mayor spoke with Chief Tom Griffin, and he is set to appoint a representative from PPD to the advisory committee, and will have the officer's name over to Councilor Ladov and I shortly, and he thanks the council. So the mayor is on board and is certainly getting the ball in motion to get people appointed to the committee. So with that, Councilor Gamache, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Councilor. I just want to thank Councilor Ladov for the input, and I believe a great program that the city will enter into. As she described it, it hits all the things that we need. And I just want to submit, let everybody know that I'm in full favor of this. I think it's long overdue, and welcome to the council on your first motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Councilor Rossignol?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I am to echo Councilor Gamache's sentiments. I'm in complete support of this proposal. The one thing that I would ask or question is adding a school committee member to this as well. And the reason for that is, as far as safe schools programs, I know that there have been principals, administrators, and staff that have submitted and got grants for safe pathways to schools that ended up having to go through the school committee. So just as another example, adding that just to make sure that we're kind of covering all bases. I just think that that might be an added benefit to this list. Other than that, I think this is fantastic. The only other question, I guess, is I know the goal is to have 6 members, 1 from each district. If that's not attainable because either a counselor or there may not be the public willing, are you going to have a fallback position regarding always making sure that there are 6 representatives, or is the 6 for each ward a goal, but 6 is the ultimate plan as far as community members?
Great question. The goal is to have 6, and initially I had an odd number like 5, but then I was like, I really wanted to represent the wards. I feel as though there's enough residents out there, and I've already gotten a lot of feedback from people like asking to be part of it. So the goal is to do 6 to represent 1 from each ward. I guess we'll have to cross that bridge if we come to it, if we don't have people wanting to be part of it. But I like to go with the mindset that they'll want to be.
Perfect. So again, just in conclusion, I am absolutely and completely in favor of this, and I look forward to this getting up and running. Thank you. Thank you, Madam
Thank you,
Chairwoman.
Councilor Rossignol. Would you like to make a motion to add, because I think it's a very good suggestion, make a motion to request the school, to add a school committee member and request that they appoint one?
So moved.
Got the motion? All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Thank you. Any other remarks from committee members? Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Councilor Lattoff, for putting this forward. You did a lot of work. It's very thorough. We've talked about it for months. I appreciate it, and I do think it's well needed and deserved, and I'm fully supportive. I am sorry to say sometimes I'm a little slow. I wonder if, like Councilor Rossignol suggested, if having someone from community development might be helpful, only because usually when we're working with grants, I don't think you're going to be writing the grant or working with the state. So if community development could be in the loop in sitting in on these meetings, that might not be the worst thing in the world. And I'm sorry, I'm just throwing this at you now because I could have done it 2 months ago when you reached out about it.
No, I believe the way this would work, since the committee's not writing it, those groups are still writing it. We're just putting everything in, like in a prioritization process and passing it off. So all those people who would typically write those grants will still write those grants. This group isn't necessarily writing the grants.
Okay, thank you. And
We can certainly do it. I don't see any reason, not to include them. It can't hurt at this point.
Okay, and through the chair to you, so I think it's in this package, but you'll meet regularly, this group will meet regularly, and then submit
Monthly.
a summary to the council for review. It's not subject
Yes.
to open meeting law, but you'll provide us enough of a
Yes.
summary so we know what's going on and
Absolutely.
and can decide. Thank you. Also through the chair to you, from the late 6 from the mayor, since we have our staff here tonight, am I getting
Yes,
the cart ahead of the horse? Are they going to come up and speak?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Then I will defer to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other remarks from councilors on the matter? Yes, Councilor Hockman.
Madam Chair, thank you for the courtesy of speaking at a meeting that I'm not a member of. Through you to Councilor Ladoff, thank you for doing this. I commend you for it. Walking the city over the course of the last year, I encountered also a lot of residents that had serious concerns that are hopefully going to be addressed through this. And you and I have had some conversations offline about it. I'm wondering if you would be willing to consider a member of the fire department, as well as the fire department controls the traffic signals in the city. So I thought they might be someone, a department that would benefit from being part of this. And I don't think I have the ability to make a motion, but if somebody, I don't frankly know the procedure to that.
Sure. Councilor Ladoff, would you like to take that suggestion in the form of a motion?
I'm making a motion to add the fire department on the committee as a representative.
On the motion, any remarks? Councilor Turco?
Thank you, Madam President. I didn't plan on speaking, although I do think it's a great idea. I see all these motions to add people, and I think we're at the very beginning of this, correct? And at this point, it looks like now we're up to 20 people on this committee, and as we all know, those never work. So I'm not opposed to any of the additions per se, but I think it needs to stop somewhere. So whereas this is Councilor Latoff's, idea and brainchild, I think that maybe we let her get this off the ground, and if we want to add positions to it as she gets it off the ground, we do that. But I don't want to continue to just continually add people before we even have a committee that's even formed. Just my thoughts, and obviously I don't mean to speak for you, Councilor. I just think it out loud here. Thank you.
No, I absolutely appreciate that. Thank you very much. When we went through this list, we were adding. I definitely think these are great additions to add. Some of them might transpire, and it's more of, as we have correspondence and communication and recaps, just like we can make sure these people are emailed and are in the loop on what the notes are and the minutes are, so everyone can stay on top of things. I'm fine with those additions, but.
Okay, so there is a motion on the floor. Any further comments on the motion? All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. And my remark, Councilor Turco, I agree with you, but I think that this type of committee, if it's going to be meeting regularly, I don't think participation is mandatory. So we'll be inclusive and get the information out, I think, as Councilor Ladov has explained. I think we'll work nicely. Yes, Councilor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one last quick remark, and through you to Councilor Ladoff. Is it your expectation that this committee is also going to address some of the, I know you said it's not going to address parking issues, but there are certain neighborhoods, your neighborhood, other neighborhoods downtown, where ability to get emergency apparatus based on parking closest to corners seems to be an issue. Is it your expectation that that will also be addressed in this committee?
Yes, that will be addressed. That is laid out within this document that I have. It discussed that, like, it's not looking for parking per se, like you parked on Main Street in this particular spot and it's wrong, but exactly what you're saying is what this is for. It's for those situations like that where it might be a street that people are parking on both sides of the street, it's a two-way street, and if there was an emergency, what would happen, and looking at those types of things, exactly.
Thank you, and thank you again, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So at this point, if there are no other remarks from councilors, if I could invite our guests up to add what you believe your role is and what you can add to this committee. Director Will Paulitz, could you join us, please, and just state your name and, to the record, your position. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm William Paulitz with the Department of Public Services. I'm the director, so we look forward to joining this committee that Councilor Latoff is forming. I think we'll hopefully be able to help in this advisory role on the needs in respect to pedestrian safety and traffic mitigation, which we take serious, and we have made some strides on Main Street a while back. We worked with community development to bring Main Street down from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes. We're working with Mass DOT on Central Street, which will be a lot more pedestrian friendly. When that project is finally done, we worked on some major pedestrian accommodations over on Perkins Street, and recently, not pedestrian, but more motor vehicle accommodations over on Andover Street, over by the Holy Cow. So it's defining the travel lanes over there, which hadn't been defined in several years. So we look forward to the progress that we've made and continue.
Thank you very much, Director Paulitz. And HR Director Dagmar Whitaker, could you join us? And again, just state your name and position into the record. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. I really believe that this is a great project. It's a great initiative and needed initiative. And I have few thoughts, few ideas who could be potentially committed to this important project. And I don't have a name right now, but I have a few that I want to think about it and make sure that we solidify their interests. So give me a few days so that I can speak to those individuals and see how they're committed, what they can bring to the table. I think that there is a number of folks who have plethora of ideas and experiences, and they're objective. So give me a few days. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I should have mentioned you are the chair of the Disability Commission, which is an important addition to consider for the formulation of this committee. And next, the Historical Commission Chair, Jeff Budd, if you could join us as well. There's a lot of historical sidewalks, certainly down Maine and Washington, right? The historical district there. So please share your info.
But there's not that many historical sidewalks in Peabody, but they do go by cemeteries. And just as an example, City of Salem is redoing Boston Street, and they go right by the Old South Cemetery, and we're concerned about the work that's going to be happening there. So, yes, it does fall into place, and, you know, we'll act in an advisory role and point out we do have maps of Peabody going back, and there are such historical points, such as a bridge over a 114 bridge over 128 is a historical site, believe it or not, that's in the state database. So we will, you know, keep an eye and work in an advisory role. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's again, an important consideration. I'm glad that Councilor Ladoff included the Historical Commission as being a voice on this council, so that is very important. So if there are no other remarks, Councilor Ladov, are you happy with the discussion this evening?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So the next step would be what? Councilor Ladov?
To make a motion to start this?
Okay, well, nope, okay, so it's a work in progress, and we'll communicate the information back to the mayor and get the representatives in place, and probably you will then, it'll be formulated, and then you can start having your meetings, I would suspect. So,
Okay, one more question. I was thinking that I can reach out to the ward councilors and give them a timeline of like maybe in 3 weeks to have a representative, or within like a month. Probably a month is fair to, okay.
yeah, you've been pretty fair in getting all this information out to everybody and giving them a lot of notice, so I think that sounds like it's doable. I'm sure the councilors will take care of that. Thank you. Any other remarks on this matter? That's the only matter in committee. Being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Thank you very much, everyone. Mike.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Subcommittee for the Legal Affairs. In attendance is Councilor Daigle, Councilor Hockman. Sitting in for Councilor Peach will be Councilor Gamache, Councilor Turco, and myself as chair. All other councilors except for Councilor Peach are present. We have one item on the agenda, and that is a communication from the licensing board regarding alcohol beverage commission changing the ability to allow on-premise wine and malts from wine and malt to entire liquor license. Before us, we have Attorney Lashway as well as representative from the ABC, Ryan Melville. I was about to call him Councilor Melville. Ms. Lashway, if you'd like to come before us and explain what this is. Before I go to you, I would like to receive item 8F.
Move to receive under suspension of the rules, item 8F.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Lashway.
Good evening. The City Council has the opportunity to vote and adopt a new statute, Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 12D. Section 12D was established last summer through the fiscal year 2026 state budget bill signed by Governor Healy. Section 12D, if adopted by the City Council, would allow on-premise wine and malt beverage licensees under Section 12 to convert their licenses to all alcohol licenses. In order to upgrade to an all-alcohol license, the wine and malt licensee would need to complete a change of category application and file it with the licensing board. The application would also need to be approved by the ABCC, and the application would require advertisement, a butters notification, and a hearing before the licensing board. The city would be able to charge a reasonable fee, and the licensing board may establish additional requirements. Some notes on the city's quota as of the end of January is that there are 3 on-premise wine and malt beverage licenses issued currently, and there are 8 available. There are 2 available on-premise all-alcohol licensees. That number is constantly changing, so there soon could be no all-alcohol licenses available, which would make the ability to convert a wine and malt license to an all-alcohol license very appealing. It's important to note a few things. This change would only apply to on-premise licensees, such as restaurants and bars, where patrons will consume alcoholic beverages on the premise. It does not affect off-premise licenses, such as liquor stores and convenience stores. Approval by the licensing board of the conversion to all alcohol would not change the city's quota. Therefore, there would be no problem quota-wise for a licensee to revert back to a beer and wine license at a later date.